On this week's episode of Parenting, we find out whether parents are genuinely interested in their children and how they show it. Do you think that your parents were genuinely interested in you as a person?
I'd hope so.
You need to show interest in your children. You need to show interest particularly in your teenagers. The reason being because they are going to remember that. In Billy's case, when we asked him, were your parents genuinely interested in you? He had to reflect for a moment and think about it.
No, I would say yeah. I would say no, definitely.
Did you know, for example, your girlfriend is, if you've had a girlfriend, you know your girlfriend is, if you've got a good friend, they're interested. If you've got, they're interested in you as, as Bill.
Yeah.
No,
I definitely think that they are, to be honest, because I think that for parents, your children are like your little trophies in a way,
Yeah.
So to speak. And,
yeah, they are.
And with my parents, with my mum, she would love. She's always talking to my mates, getting involved in kind of that kind of side of my life, my social side.
Okay.
So she's fully invested into like who I'm staying around,
okay,
what I'm staying around.
Lovely. If you don't get involved with your teenagers as people as they're growing up, it's much more difficult to form a relationship with them later on.
I don't think at a time my parents understood what it meant to have children and to understand that they were going to grow into their own people.
Okay.
And be an individual instead of something they might have wanted.
And they had a lot to look after, because how many siblings have you got?
I have 32 siblings.
Wow. And how many? So that means your father, is he well kind of established back home?
Like he's a king kind of person.
He's a king kind of. And how many partners? How many wives does he have?
The married ones were only 8.
8.
Yeah.
Only.
Then,
Okay.
They were still, like the ones that were not married.
Okay.
You need to then give them that ability and room to
be their own person.
And I feel like when you do live with your parents, you tend to pick up traits. And I notice now, like, being 24, that I'm so similar to my mum because we've just lived in the same house that she just rubs off on me, just little things like, and I've realized now that it's just, I haven't really fully found myself either, because I'm still around my parents. I'm still around.
But still, that still means he still managed to find a lot of time to still manage to try to control you as well. That's a big job he had, really.
For him, like he was like, like he will get the report from your mother.
Okay.
And when he get the report and you are called up to his house, then you are in for it.
Oh my God. Teenagers grow up into people, and parents do need to recognize that. That does seem to be the most common thing that these teenagers, these young adults as teens are feeding back, which is that they do need their parents to show interest in them as people. You as parents are the best placed people to do that. And so showing interest in them is really important for their development.
To an extent, they are both genuinely interested in me as a person, to an extent, and both in different ways. I think my dad will take more interest in how I feel in certain situations, and my mum takes more interest in why I do certain things. If that makes sense?
I mean, I hope my parents are genuinely interested in me as a person. Well, I don't know if I ever truly know, but in some cases they'll be genuinely interested in you and what's best for you because if they love you. But then, there's some situations where it's like, oh, Mom, what do you think of these shoes? And it's like, well, in their head they're thinking, oh, I don't really care. But yeah, the red ones are nice. So I think it depends on the level of the situation. But I think overall, definitely.
I feel like that changed as I got older. Like when I was a lot younger, first it was just her son, not really thinking too much. But then as I got older, I started to do new things. You have your wants, you have things you achieve, you when you get to a point like now, I can speak to her like adult to adult.
Okay.
Whereas before it was child to adult, so now she takes more interest in me.
Okay. So that's come over a period of time.
Yeah.
Was it there when you was a teenager?
Nah, not at all.
No. In Lamar's case, I think we've been quite lucky, or he's been quite lucky, in that he's got a very good perspective of what his mum had to do as a parent to juggle looking after him and all the other responsibilities. So he's quite forgiving of that, but some teenagers might not be forgiving later on. So try and keep that relationship going.
I don't think my biological family did.
Okay.
But in some aspects, yeah, my foster family did. You know, they tried. You know, they would come to like attend obviously parents' evenings, all the things they were supposed to do.
Okay.
Get all my school reports and I suppose encourage me and try and facilitate to the best way they can.
Okay.
My interests. You know.
For your well-being.
Yeah, get to know the things that I like. You know, I used to go to certain clubs and classes that I wanted to do.
Okay.
Like dancing. Things like that.
All right, extracurricular, which
extracurricular activities.
Bit of development.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think because of the absence of my biological family, they wasn't able to.
Okay.
You know, that wasn't able to happen.
Because obviously you had me. I've got an older brother, an older sister, and a younger sister, and I think you sort of put it down to, well, they're busy, they're working, they've got to look after everyone else, and it feels like it's not, they don't personally come up to you and say, so how was this,
okay?
how was this?
Yeah.
It sort of feels like, is everyone all right? Everyone good? Yeah. Okay.
Because only so much time, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay. So they definitely care about you.
Yeah.
But they might not have that time for that personal.
I know that they're there.
Yeah.
But it's just.
Maybe little bit diluted because the number of people, siblings and stuff like that. But it seemed to have come off fairly well. You seem quite good-natured.
Okay,
so
thank you.
know, I mean, obviously, I don't know, but you seem quite good-natured.
Yeah.
So maybe the ingredients that you've had with the different groups of people has, managed to give you a different experience. And then sometimes maybe you having your own child as well kind of quantifies where you fit in the chain.
Yeah. With my step parents, they had grown-up kids before me.
Okay.
And it's like that's their life, and like I know I would never be on the same level as them.
Okay.
So it's all like when it got really bad, I thought, well, it's like why even try? If I'm not ever
it's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. If I'm not ever gonna be like accepted like that.
Yeah.
To that same extent, and I don't feel it either.
Okay.
You could act. But I don't. But they don't even try for that. At least.
Okay.
Well, I think my stepmother does a bit more.
A little bit more.
Actually, yeah.
But at least your parents do.
My parents do, yeah. I mean, sometimes I worry that they don't. Like if I send a message to my dad about a film I've been in, and he sees it and doesn't reply, leaves me unread. I think he's disappointed, but actually he just forgets to reply.
Listen, my parents even now, they're the same. I tell them I'm going to be on something, and like, okay. And then I say, did you watch it? No.
Yeah.
We forgot or whatever it is.
Sometimes it's just misunderstandings.
Do you think your parents, your mum was genuinely interested in you, Zach, as a person?
Yeah. Yes, actually, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, she did try to get me the support I needed, and she actually put in place like a lot of support I needed, like some extra benefits or something like that, because she wanted me to, because she just tends to be overbearing, but she tends to worry quite a lot, so...
Okay, that's a good sign. Usually someone worries about you.
Yeah, like she keeps worrying and all that, and she says, well fine, I guess we might not talk again, ever, and then she'll call me back later and says, oh, by the way, did you get that benefit? And I'm like, yes, now can you please just leave me alone about it?
Give me some space.
Yes.
So actually sometimes the way that people, the parents are showing that they care for you or interested or even love you is by doing things.
Yeah.
They don't always have the dialogue.
Yeah.
And they don't always have the interpersonal skills, but when you look, sometimes you think actually they're doing some stuff.
She does say, well, you do realise I do love you, and I'm just like, oh, here we go again with the love.
Oh, so she does tell you that she loves you?
Yeah, sometimes in a kind of weird way.
Okay.
I mean, I don't ever say, oh, I love you too, mother, and all that sort of thing. I'm just like, yeah, whatever, bye.